there's some shit going down. But this might be the final straw of like when I finally quit Twitter. Like I might be done. This might be it. This might be my release, my freedom.
Hi, my name is Azehara. I am your favorite half-black, half-Latino, transsexual, bisexual VTuber clipper. I'm going to explain that later in my debut 2.0. This is not the model I'm going to debut with, but I haven't debuted yet, so this is what you get for now. I'm going to start making my own content, and then I'm going to move away from clipping. This is the first topic I want to basically cover or talk about, because it's something that affects a bunch of people in the VTuber community. So, for some context, it seems that in the past few weeks, there has been some outrage against the platform Twitch, and some of that hate has been directed at Twitch ambassadors. The most recent example of some of this was when Shondo got banned for 30 days because apparently she was glorifying or encouraging self-deletion. Now, there has been for, I believe, more than a year, there has been this perception that VTubers are just being punished unfairly, or at least they're getting punished more severely than regular streamers. And the quote-unquote community in general is basically directing their focus at the Twitch ambassadors, because recently some VTubers got assigned as ambassadors. Also recently we had that issue with the knock feature, which Evil Toaster, who is also a Twitch ambassador, he was saying that it's something that he pushed for them to add to the platform. Now the problem here comes from people not really knowing what Twitch ambassador is, or what exactly their role is as an ambassador, or how much influence they have upon the platform. Of course, I don't really blame regular users for this, because I don't think that at any point people have been let known what exactly the tasks of an ambassador are. So recently, related to Shondo and to the 30-day ban, this VTuber, her name is Uguubear. Before this, I didn't even know who she was, and she replied to a comment on Twitter made by an account by a certain idol VTuber who likes to yap, and this is what the reply was. So Yappy says, "What sucks even more is that the VTuber ambassadors are really quiet during all of this. I want to believe they're fighting for us and using their position to call out Twitch internally before they publicly speak out, but I cannot trust right now." And to this, Uguubear replied, "Hi, Twitch ambassador here. We don't have any sway or receive info in regards to moderation and bans. We serve as bridges between the communities we serve and Twitch staff. But this by no means means that we have power or influence over the policies and administration." And of course, to this, Uguubear received some hate for her reply. I won't really go into details. So she decided to go into her stream on Twitch and just vent a little about what was happening. I'm assuming that she has never really gotten that much pushback from people in the quote-unquote community. So that's what prompted all of this. And I'm gonna be just reacting to some of her, or at least discussing some of those things she has been saying on her stream. Again, I understand that when Uguubear made this stream, she was probably venting, she was probably angry at the response of the people. But I mean, I guess it gives us a good insight of what a Twitch ambassador actually does, because most of the people in Twitch don't even know who the ambassadors are or what they do.
So I start seeing a bunch of people being like, Twitch hates VTubers and they're unjustly banning VTubers because of blah, 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 blah. And there's no reason and blah, blah. And I'm just like, God, like, I don't care. Like, realistically, I don't care. Like, I'm sorry, but if you are the type of person that says you care about every single VTuber to ever exist on Twitch as a platform, you are overcompensating or you are lying.
This is a poor reply. Again, there has been many instances of people showing that VTubers have been getting banned for things like their clothing, their attire, when compared to other streamers, basically IRL streamers. And often the punishment for VTubers is harsher than what it is for the regular streamers.
The reason that this blew up to the proportion that it did is because it was a popular VTuber. Like, and I think I'm pretty positive that they've been down this rodeo before. I don't really know them. And I don't like have the time or energy to really look into it. And I don't believe everything that I see on Twitter at face value, because there's always nuance. There's always 3 sides to the story.
Shondo was banned previously before, but the reason why she got banned, Twitch flagged her account as being sexual, and they even mentioned that her VTuber avatar was... Well, let me pull up that. Well, Shondo got a notice that her channel was going to be suspended for 7 days, and the reason stated was that it was them assuming that her VTuber model, which according to them is depicting a minor, was engaged in certain sexual behaviors. They never specified which behaviors that was. And going by the type of content Shondo does, this is completely false. At no point did they really point out what was the problem. So again, that's another issue with the platform. They don't really tell you what exactly you did wrong. They just give you some bullshit reason and just ban you. And this was a 7-day ban right before her birthday stream. Usually with VTubers, their birthday or anniversary streams are the biggest streams they usually do, because that's when they get the most donations, that's when they get the most subs. So they directly affected her income by doing this. And again, there was no reason for them to do this. And she got banned this time was, according to them, she was promoting or glorifying self-harm. Going by her VODs, she had been mentioning that she had been struggling with mental health, and she had thought about doing a backflip, but she was glad that streaming was basically helping her deal with this. And if it wasn't for streaming, she would have probably been dead by now.
And yeah, the world will continue. You know, I am empathetic. I'm empathetic to people having, you know, struggles and dealing with the interruptions to their income and such. But I this is my life. I've been a freelance artist my entire life. You never know when your paycheck's coming in. You don't know how much money you're gonna make month to month, and so you have to plan ahead. You have to be aware and plan for your future. That is your responsibility as an adult.
That is your responsibility as an adult, but no, you're not being empathetic, because people are angry because it seems that the platform is being unjust with their bans. People are getting banned for not even breaking the rule. So this is not about earning less. This is about the platform being unfair with its creators, or the platform not really applying the rules in an equal way. I cannot say if this is true or not, but the perception is there. People have been angry about this for over a year now. So again, this is not something about being an independent content creator. This is people angry at the platform because they are not being clear with the rules. And when they ban you, they don't tell you why. And when it comes to VTubers, it seems that they are getting banned for longer amounts of time than regular streamers.
I am saying that, for the record, I do not know the specifics of the situation. I saw several VTubers saying that they were banned or warned unjustly by Twitch, and I'm not denying that it happened, but I'm also not being like, oh wow, it was just so unfair, it was so unjust. Like that, I don't have enough information to make a judgment based on that.
I think before hopping on stream and venting like this, I mean, you have every right to do so, but you should look into things, because it might lead to you possibly saying or thinking that something happened when it didn't actually happen. You should be aware of what is happening before you talk about it. And this is not me trying to on you for doing this. This is more of an advice.
So I see this call out post, and I'm a big advocate for not engaging with engagement bait, rage bait, farming. But I'm only a bear. I'm only human. And, you know, I don't feel that I should have to limit what I say. If I have an opinion, I should be allowed to say it. Especially if everyone is projecting opinions that are untrue onto a group of people who deserve none of it.
You have every right to say your opinion. You have every right to speak your mind. I don't think anyone will tell you otherwise, but at the same time, you have to be aware that this is not just engagement bait, this is not rage bait. People are not angry because they want clicks. They are angry at the ambassadors because people believe that the ambassadors possibly have more power to communicate these things.
I've been an ambassador for 2 years now, and there has recently been a few VTuber additions. I think Mega was last year, and then Lala, and there was another one. I'm blanking on her name, but they just recently joined the ambassador program, and to be put under fire for something that they just got adopted into is not okay with me. I don't stand for that, because ultimately the whole point of this movement and conspiracy theory in air quotes is that VTubers are being oppressed, right? VTubers are being unjustly banned or targeted by Twitch. However, that is not a reason to turn the hate onto the people who are supposedly your representatives because we exist.
I don't think anyone was attacking them directly. Someone basically mentioned this issue on Twitter, and you replied, and others just got angry and replied back to you. But again, I don't think no one is directly blaming you for what has happened. They want some sort of confirmation that something is being done, because there seems to be a bias. And I am not making this up. There are many cases and many examples of this happening.
Just because we exist, just because we're VTubers, does not mean that we have the time and capacity to know everything that's going on in our community. Our community is very niche, but it is very large at the same time. And we are individual people with our own lives. And it's ludicrous to assume that we have to know everything that's going on, especially when it's on Twitter?
No one expects you to know everything that happens in the community, but this issue related to VTubers thinking that they are getting unjustly banned is something that has been going on for many years now, at least more than a year. And there are examples even of VTubers getting banned for certain attire that IRL streamers are not getting banned for. Or hell, even VR chat models that have the same design as a VTuber don't get banned in VR chat, but when it comes to VTubing, the VTuber gets banned. The same exact model.
The vocal outrage is on Twitter. What if I just simply wasn't on Twitter this week? What if I had no clue what was going on? The fact of the matter is that there was a call out post about VTuber ambassadors, and they don't even know who the VTuber ambassadors are. Does that not say a lot? Does that not imply that maybe ambassadors don't have the power that you think we do?
Maybe that is a platform problem then. The platform should be promoting their ambassadors. The platform should be promoting what role the ambassador does. Again, this is, I believe you're getting mad at the users for not knowing something that the platform should be the one promoting. Also, you mentioned that maybe you were not on Twitter that day, but these are things that have been going on for a long time. I believe every content creator should be on Twitter, because that has become the virtual town square. That's where people talk. That's where people comment on things. As an ambassador, I think you should be required to be on Twitter. Even though you might block everyone, you might mute people, you should be on the platform at least to know what is going on, because most of the discourse is not on Twitch. It's on Twitter.
100% they want people to blame, and it's easy to point at a select group of people and be like, it's your fault. Damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. You're either silent and you're not saying anything publicly, which is also ridiculous, because just because you're not saying anything publicly does not mean that you're not saying anything behind closed doors.
As an ambassador, you should be proactive in what you do. If there's an issue, you should be open that you at least have tried talking about it or have let staff know about the issue. You being proactive and maybe tweeting out, oh, we are aware that some people are claiming the platform is being unfair against them. Maybe you just communicating that simple fact is good enough so that people know that, I mean, at least you did your job, and at least the ball's in their court now. They are the ones that will have to reply, or maybe they won't reply at all, but at least you did your work.
There's this thing called an NDA, and when you're in closed spaces, sometimes you have to sign NDAs or adhere to NDAs, and you cannot disclose information that is talked about behind closed doors.
And yes, no one expects you to talk or tell, well, I mean, some people do. They're stupid. But they expect you to at least mention that you are doing something about a certain issue. People just want to know that something is being done, even though the platform might not be doing anything about it. The ambassadors have let the platform know about the issue.
Twitch does not have VTubers under a microscope. They are not sitting in wait, lurking in VTubers chats, waiting for them to say or do something that is against the rules to ban them. I promise you there is not enough Twitch staff to do that. And that is just common sense. That is not even me saying it as an ambassador. That is just common sense.
Realistically speaking, people that are not brain dead know that they don't have a moderator in every stream looking for the streamer to mess up so they can get banned. But they read the reports, and again, it seems that when VTubers get reported, they get a harsher punishment.
When I joined the ambassador program, I didn't even really know what the ambassador program was. It had been around for a few years, and I didn't even really know. The way that I have always explained it is that ambassadors are pillars in their communities who are positive influenced creators or people who are representative of what Twitch would want from a streamer. And that might sound like I'm bragging, but I try very hard to be a positive influence and someone who tries to influence things where I can and have opinions on things. But just because I have an opinion on something doesn't mean that it's going to be heard. It doesn't mean that they're going to take it verbatim and listen to everything I say. I don't have that kind of power.
You don't have that kind of power, but again, people want you to be proactive. People want you to, as a pillar in the quote-unquote community, people expect you to maybe escalate these problems and just at least mention them to staff. It doesn't matter that they will do anything. There's a high chance that they won't do anything about it, but at least you are doing your part. On behalf of the community, you are letting staff know that there's a problem.
What do ambassadors do exactly? We talk internally with staff about things that are either up and coming or things that have already happened, and we give our opinions. Ambassadors are a marketing thing. It's about like promotion of the platform and creating a positive space. We have discussions, we have roundtables, but it doesn't mean that just because we said something and it was told to staff that they're gonna take everything that we said and put it into implementation. I think there's like a really bad, it's kind of hard because this is coming off the tails of what Toaster had happened, like what happened with Toaster. And he took credit for the guest star knock feature. And I can tell you that it was very poorly worded. He was not responsible for that.
Toaster really up by saying that he was in charge or he was the cause for that feature to go live. And when you laughed at the beginning, when you read the comment, it makes me think that even the ambassadors don't even know what their role is. Just like, I think it's really, really difficult to say that just because I'm a VTuber, I need to stand up for every single VTuber that has ever existed on this platform. That makes no sense. Nobody expects you to stand up for every VTuber, but there are some issues that maybe not all, but most VTubers will have to deal with. And something like unfair treatment or people thinking that the platform is not or has a bias against VTubers is something that you should be aware of and you should be possibly discussing with staff. To assume that I have never done anything or said anything is very bold. It's very bold. Just because I did not explicitly say I am talking to Twitch staff about these injustices, literally could have not seen any of it, right? I was sleeping for 90% of the time, and then I woke up and saw this and responded. So like, you don't know anything about me. I want to get back to this a little bit later. When I was invited to be a Twitch ambassador in 2022, I attended TwitchCon. In 2022, it was in San Diego, and I went to the convention as a seasoned convention goer. Now, this was like probably the peak of post-COVID VTubers, 2022, 2023. And there was a lot of VTubers who, after the convention, had expressed that they felt not safe at the convention. And so I was very interested in knowing what sort of measures they would have preferred taken. And a lot of it had to do with like
revealing their identity when they picked up their badges, etc. Very, very normal set stuff that makes sense, right? But I went out of my way and said, I'm going to be a representative of the community and I'm going to make some observations and take information from the community and relay it to Twitch because I had the ability to do that. Whether or not Twitch did anything with the information I gave them, it's out of my hands. After I release the information to them, it's in their control. If they choose to do something, that is on them. And ultimately, at the end of the day, Twitch will do what Twitch wants to do.
You took it upon yourself to do something which wasn't expected of you. You were proactive. And I believe maybe when they decided that you should become an ambassador, maybe that's the example they used to promote you as one. And again, this is what people kind of expect of an ambassador to do.
So many people are like, you just need to tell Twitch that they're banning VTubers unjustly and that if they don't stop, then all the VTubers are going to leave.
And those people are stupid. And you don't really pay attention to that. They're trying to threaten you when you're not even part of the staff. You're just an ambassador.
And I'm like, okay, I could communicate that to them. I won't. But realistically speaking, do you think that they care? Because I will tell you that the world does not revolve on emotions.
And now going back to that other clip I said I would go back to.
To assume that I have never done anything or said anything is very bold.
This makes me think that you didn't do anything, and you were implying that you sometimes talk behind the scenes with people, and that people shouldn't assume, but you just basically said that you didn't do anything. It's the perception the average user will have.
Especially companies, and if you feel so oppressed by Twitch, you are more than welcome to move off of the platform. No one is holding you at gunpoint saying, stay on this platform. You can't succeed anywhere else.
If I'm gonna be critical of you for something that you've said, telling people if they don't like it, they should leave. It's not a good look. People don't want to leave. People have an audience already, and leaving the platform would imply that they will have to start from scratch at another platform. And no one wants to do that, especially when they have an audience. And you can say, oh, maybe people over at YouTube, you can start over there. The platform is very similar and your viewers would follow you over there. But that's not the truth. People over on Twitch, for the most part, stay on Twitch. Just like people on YouTube, they stay on YouTube.
What I was going to say as a very good example of someone that would actually have impact and have a voice and could stand up for VTubers because they are already a pillar in this community is VShojo. VShojo represents the most subbed VTuber on the most subbed person streamer on this platform currently. Iron Mouse is the most subbed streamer. They represent Zentreya, who has been feeling very upset about a warning. They have stakes in Twitch as a company because their creators are people who make Twitch money. I'm sorry, Twitch knows more about VShojo than they do about me.
The VShojo talents represent VShojo. I would never expect a VShojo talent to do something on behalf of the community. They represent their company, and their company has people on the inside, people like Gunrun, who's the president, and I'm pretty sure he has a direct line with the president of Twitch to talk about things that might negatively impact the company. But you shouldn't expect corporate VTubers to be the ones to represent average user. They represent their company and they will do what's best for the company. They will do what's best for everyone else. I don't have anything against VShojo, but I don't think they should be the ones pushing for change, at least on behalf of the users.
Put your energy and vocalize your concerns in a meaningful way. Don't just scream into the void on Twitter because one, you are getting upset. Firstly, you are upsetting yourself. And you are creating this really terrible vitriol of hating Twitch. Like, it's cool to hate Twitch. Like, why?
Because it's been proven that if you get banned on Twitch, the only way you can call attention to the ban, especially if it was unjustified, is by going on Twitter and making a huge deal about it.
So then I make my initial tweet where I said, WTF? And I was like, guys, the email? 30 minutes after that, oh look, an email. And it's been like 8 hours
The only way Twitch pays attention to things like this is solely based on they don't want the negative press on Twitter. Once you get banned from Twitch, your only way to maybe ask for an appeal, or at least the best way to do so, is through Twitter. And this has been proven by the notice Shondo got. After the pushback on Twitter, a member of our team has reviewed your appeal and can confirm the correct enforcement was issued. So they believe that their actions was right. However, given the details of your case, we have determined that your appeal can be accepted. So they are claiming, oh, we banned you, we were right in banning you, but there have been details in your case which we have to take into consideration, and this is why we will appeal the ban. So people bitching and moaning about the ban on Twitter. So while you might not think it's a good thing to do, or you might not think it's the correct channel to take, it seems to be the most effective one.
That's the problem here. Nobody has sat me down and said, you can't do this, you can do this, you can't do this. I just want to list a simple explanation of what I'm not allowed to do. And apparently that's too much to ask. So they're allowed to ban me for 7 days, for 30 days. But I'm not allowed to say why.
Okay, so someone said, can you at least inquire why VTubers are being banned left and right out of nowhere on Twitch and why it's happening? Okay, I could inquire. But what if I inquire and then I get the answer and I get told I can't share this answer because any sort of conversations that we have in our ambassador space, we can't share. So what am I supposed to do? Oh yes, I asked them, but I can't tell you.
Again, going back to that other part of the clip where you mentioned that people don't know what you do behind the scenes, this reply makes me realize that you haven't done anything about it. And this is part of the general frustration people have against the ambassadors. I'm gonna play this clip that basically sums up the general feeling about it.
It's just like, I am so f***ing sick of so many streamers and like people like Zach Bussey who report on this talking about how everything is falling apart, everything is terrible, Twitch just keeps making these bad decisions, and they have over 100 fucking ambassadors. Doing what? What do you fucking do? How do they keep coming out with all of this shit? What is the point of your fucking position as an ambassador?
I think it's a good idea that maybe you as an ambassador understands what is the general perception people have of what being a Twitch ambassador is.
I don't agree with the policy that Twitch does not disclose why people get banned. I don't agree with it, but it's been that way the entire time that I've been on the platform. If you don't like it, go to a different platform. It's that simple. It's that easy. It's like they have solutions right in front of them, but they don't actually want solutions. They just want to be told that what they're feeling is right.
People leaving the platform is not a solution. People are angry and people want change, and not doing anything about it won't fix the problem. Also, telling people to leave won't do anything about it. Also, the last time I heard someone telling people that if they didn't like something, they could leave was with a recent game called Concord. And guess what? People didn't like it and people didn't play it. The game failed. And even though Twitch is probably too big to fail as a company, eventually, if a better option comes out, don't be surprised if it does fail.
Just because I'm not blasting my Twitter about how I feel about every single thing that happens doesn't mean that I don't have opinions on it. I have opinions. I just know that Twitter is not the space to have a conversation, especially because I don't pay for that shit. So I don't have the unlimited character limit. I'd rather just, have a conversation where I can actually speak my mind and people can believe me or not believe me. I'm not here to sway anyone's opinions.
I think you should be more proactive with your posts on Twitter. Maybe, you were proactive in answering or reacting to this post made by Yappy, but maybe you should be more proactive in letting people know that you are aware of the issues and you are letting staff know. No one expects them to do anything about it, but at least you did your job Also, you should look into getting Twitter Blue. I don't think this is an excuse. Again, you're an ambassador, you're a communicator, you're someone that has to act as a bridge between the platform staff and the user base. Even if you don't want to get Twitter Blue, you can just make a thread. You don't need Twitter Blue to make a thread. Just write things and space them out and make a multiple post thread. At this point, I think you're just looking for excuses. Again, this is not me attacking you. This is me giving you maybe some sort of advice on maybe something you can do to possibly improve how people perceive Twitch ambassadors.
I'm not vocal on Twitter because I don't really like getting involved because it is a echo chamber. I don't like being involved in Twitter drama because you say one thing and people will read in between the lines and say everything around what you're saying. They don't actually acknowledge what you are saying, but when something supports what they say, they take that verbatim. So there's no winning. It's like you're spiraling.
I'm going to be honest with you here. I don't think the problem is the echo chamber. I think you don't like Twitter because people are rude on Twitter. People are going to be aggressive. People are going to be insulting. People are going to be stupid. But I don't think you like the pushback. You as a Twitch ambassador might be under more of a lens because the things you say, in a way, will be taken more seriously because you're in that position. And again, you are representing the community. So people will look at you and look at your opinions and maybe give them more weight. And it sucks, but again, I think it's something that comes with the title. And it's something you should, maybe if you don't like it, maybe you should step down. Maybe you should recommend someone who might be more resilient against how people on the internet respond to simple comments made on Twitter. Again, I don't think this is, I'm not trying to attack you personally. I don't really know you. You seem fairly honest, you seem fairly professional, and you don't seem to be engaging, or you don't seem to be as toxic as other ambassadors have been in the way they reply to things.
Take your dyslexic ass the f out of my mentions.
I guess you weren't expecting people to be angry at you when you commented, and I mean, kind of sucks that they were angry, but at the same time, people on Twitter suck, so there's not much you can do. So now that's done, I would like to maybe address this part of the video towards maybe someone in the Twitch staff. Do I expect them to listen? Maybe not, but there seem to be some issues with the platform. I do believe that there is a bias against VTubers, and this is solely based on the attire issue. There have been VTubers that have been banned for certain attire, and they have a 3D model they use on VR chat with the same attire, and they haven't gotten banned for using that attire on VR chat. There's also repeat offenders on Twitch. There are some users that have broken the rules multiple times and they get banned for a day or two. I think these type of content creators should be permanently banned from the platform. Having them around constantly breaking the rules is not a healthy thing. Twitter as a platform has to be very specific with what the rule is and what you have to do to break the rule. I have a clip where Kirsha is talking to a support staff about some rule, and they let her know that they are not going to be clear with her, because if they are clear, then she will know how much she can push before getting banned. I don't think this is an excuse. I think the staff should let you know where the line sits at so you don't cross it. Twitch should also work on their ambassador program. What's the point if they're not going to listen to their ambassadors?
Most of the time I'm like, this is a terrible idea, don't do this.
Listen to you?
They listen? No, hell no. Being 100% honest, I think that they take the feedback, but I think by the time they've showed us something, they've already planned to release it, and it's already like in motion.
If they don't care about what is being said and they just want to release something, then why even have an ambassador program? What's the point of having ambassadors if they're not going to listen? So with that, I guess I don't expect to be making these types of videos. I don't have a debut date yet. I mean, I'm still working on some things. I have a trip I'm going to be taking near the end of the year, and I don't want to debut and then go on vacation. So I'm still trying to figure out when I'm going to debut.
So much. Make sure you get that. Make sure you get that one drop right there. Make sure you get that one drop right there. Fire stat.
I don't ever want to hear normies talking about degenerate weebs and their VTubers ever again. I can see her butthole!